highest altitude big cat in the world cannot roar. Instead, a ghostly moan drifts through the freezing air. It is followed by a soft, breathy prusten. This quiet greeting is a biological necessity. In the thin air of the peaks, sound behaves differently. The snow leopard's vocal folds are surprisingly short. They measure just 9 millimeters in length. This physical limit prevents the deep, resonant vibrations of a roar. But in these echoing canyons, a loud roar could trigger an avalanche. It could reveal the hunter's position to every creature on the mountain. Instead, the cat relies on silent signals and quiet, intimate whispers. It is a whisper that carries a deep mystery. How does a large carnivore survive where the air is too thin to support life? This is the roof of the world. We are high in the alpine and subalpine zones of Central Asia. The terrain here is a vertical maze of slate, ice, and jagged scree. It is an environment of stark extremes, lying between 3,000 and 4,500 meters above sea level. Down in the valleys, life is rich. But up here, above the tree line, the cold is relentless. The landscape is a desert of rock and snow. The wind screeches through the passes, stripping the heat from anything that moves. For a human, merely breathing at this altitude is exhausting, yet this is the chosen home of the snow leopard. It is a territory of sheer cliffs and dizzying drops. It is an arena where survival is calculated in inches. To survive this frozen desert, the cat requires a radical physical design. Cold is a constant thief. It steals energy, warmth, and life. The snow leopard fights back with a dense coat of spotted fur. Its ears are small and rounded. This tight, compact shape minimizes critical heat loss in the freezing wind. The air is warmed before it ever reaches the lungs. This protects the core organs from the brutal chill, but its most striking feature is its massive tail. This tail ranges from 80 to 105 centimeters in length. It is not just for balance. The tail is incredibly thick. It serves as a vital storage unit for fat, a reserve of energy for lean times. When the alpine winter closes in, the cat curls into a tight ball. It wraps this heavy, furred tail around its face like a thick blanket. This protects its sensitive nose and eyes from the biting frost. Below its heavy body, its paws are quietly extraordinary. They are massive, broad pads of muscle and fur. These wide paws act like natural snowshoes. They distribute the cat's weight evenly across the deep drifts. They prevent it from sinking into the soft powder. Every movement is calculated to conserve precious warmth, but the physical environment is only the first part of the puzzle. The real test of survival comes with the hunt. Food is scarce on the rocky ridges. The snow leopard's primary prey is the Himalayan blue sheep. These agile herbivores cling to the sheerest cliffs. To catch them, the cat must perform a feat of physics that seems impossible. It does not stalk slowly through flat grass. Instead, it launches itself off vertical rock faces. The snow leopard actively pursues its prey down steep mountainsides. It uses the sheer force of gravity and momentum. This high-speed chase can cover up to 300 meters in a single, terrifying burst. The cat tumbles, leaps, and sprints down the loose scree. It is a gravity-defying plunge. One wrong step means a fatal fall. Yet, the cat makes this desperate leap. It targets prey that is often much larger than itself. The snow leopard prefers heavy prey, often targeting animals up to 76 kilograms in weight. This is a massive struggle on a vertical cliff. A single blue sheep represents an immense prize. If successful, an adult snow leopard can survive on this single kill for 2 weeks. During this time, it will guard the carcass from scavengers, eating slowly. It is a high-reward strategy, but the physical cost is overwhelming. The energy expended in a vertical chase is staggering. If the hunt fails, the cat faces starvation in the freezing cold. It is a life lived on a razor's edge. To understand how this predator conquered the peaks, we must look into the deep past. The rocks of the Tibetan Plateau hold the ancient clues. Millions of years ago, the ancestors of the snow leopard split from their closest living relative, the tiger. Genetic analysis indicates this divergence happened deep in evolutionary history. It occurred estimated between 4.62 and 1.82 million years ago. This was a time of immense geological upheaval. As the mountains rose, the ancestors of the tiger remained in the low forests. The ancestors of the snow leopard rose with the stone, adapting to the cold. The fossil record confirms this ancient transition. The earliest fossil appearance of the snow leopard lineage is recorded during the Gelasian stage. This dates back to 2.6 million years ago. At some point in their evolution, these mountain cats hybridized with leopards and lions. This shared history is written in their mitochondrial genome, but while its relatives claimed the lowlands, the snow leopard chose the high peaks. It became an evolutionary specialist, uniquely designed for high-altitude survival. Yet, this specialization created a new problem. It isolated the cats in a vast, empty wilderness. Its isolation is staggering in its scale. Across hundreds of square kilometers of mountain desert, a lone male patrols his territory. The Gobi Desert is particularly unforgiving. Here, adult males use an average home range of 144 to 270 square kilometers. Within this massive boundary, a male is almost entirely solitary. He moves like a ghost through the crags, mostly active at dawn and twilight. Because their ranges are so vast, two snow leopards may never meet face to face. To communicate, they must rely on a complex chemical language. They leave scent messages on ancient boulders to mark their solitary paths. Their urine contains unique chemical compounds like pentanol, hexanol, and heptanol. These chemical markers tell a detailed story to any passing cat. Other compounds, such as nonanol and indole, play a role in localized communication. They mark boundaries and announce identity. However, evidence suggests these compounds do not attract mates across vast distances. Instead, they act as intimate local signposts. They prevent accidental encounters and reduce conflict in a harsh world. In this silent kingdom, direct conflict is too risky. A single injury could prevent a cat from hunting. And in this vertical world, an injured cat is a dead cat. This reliance on chemistry allows them to share a landscape without ever meeting. But this extreme isolation raises a haunting question. Survive when its individuals are so profoundly separated. The global population of this elusive predator is estimated to number fewer than 10,000 mature individuals. They are scattered across 12 countries, living on isolated island peaks. They are divided by deep valleys, human cities, and impassable barriers. This is the heart of the puzzle. The snow leopard has adapted perfectly to the physical extremes of high altitude. It has conquered the cold, the steep slopes, and the thin air. But its greatest challenge is not the weather. It is the overwhelming empty space. How does a species maintain a genetic connection across thousands of miles of broken mountain peaks? To answer this, we must look at the desperate measures this predator takes to bridge the gap, and the extreme lengths to which a mother will go to protect the future of her lineage. A 9mm strip of tissue dictates the silence of the peaks. This is the vocal fold of the snow leopard. For generations, explorers and naturalists assumed this mountain predator shared the booming voice of its lowland cousins. They expected a roar that could rattle the high canyon walls. But the vertical desert does not tolerate such dramatic displays. The physical reality of life above the clouds demands a completely different anatomy. A true roar requires long, heavy vocal tissues. At high altitudes, the air is simply too thin and too cold to support such waste. Instead of a roar, the snow leopard produces a ghostly moan. It breathes a soft, non-threatening call known as a prusten. This quiet puff of air travels only a short distance through the frozen crags. To survive on the roof of the world, this predator had to abandon the loud vocalizations of the valleys. Silence became its primary weapon. This silence deeply puzzled early evolutionary biologists. They struggled to place this mysterious cat on the family tree. Early theories suggested it was simply a common leopard that had wandered up the ridges. Others classified it as a direct relative of the high-altitude lynx. Both guesses were wrong. Modern genetic analysis has revealed a much deeper, more surprising history. The snow leopard forms a sister group not with the common leopard, but with the tiger. This split occurred deep in the past. Scientists estimate the genetic divergence happened between 4.62 and 1.82 million years ago. Fossil record supports this deep time origin. The earliest fossils of the snow leopard lineage appear in the rocks of the Tibetan Plateau. They date back to the Gelasian stage, approximately 2.6 million years ago. During this ancient epoch, the continents were shifting, and the Himalayas were rising. As the peaks thrust upward into the sky, these cats rose with them. They adapted to a world of ice, while their tiger sisters claimed the dense, warm forests. Along the way, their ancestors hybridized with the ancient lineages of lions and leopards. This left a complex genetic mosaic locked within their mitochondrial DNA. They are not invaders from the lowlands. They are ancient children of the mountain uplift. To claim this frozen kingdom, the snow leopard had to completely redesign its respiratory system. The cat possesses highly expanded nasal cavities. These massive chambers act as natural heat exchangers. When the freezing mountain air is inhaled, it passes through a labyrinth of warm tissue. This system heats the dry, thin air before it ever reaches the lungs. It preserves core body temperature even when the outside world drops far below zero. The large nasal openings also allow the predator to draw in more oxygen from the thin, high-altitude atmosphere. Every breath is a victory over the cold. Yet this physical adaptation comes with a trade-off. The expanded nasal passages crowd the throat. This structural shift is the very reason the cat cannot roar. It traded its voice for the ability to breathe at the limit of life. Another persistent myth surrounded their hunting habits on the sheer rock faces. For a long time, observers believed that no large predator could successfully hunt on vertical slopes. The sheer physics of gravity seemed to rule out a high-speed chase on loose scree. Scientists assumed the snow leopard must lure its prey down to the flat valley floors. But the rocky cliffs offer no such luxury. The truth of the hunt is far more dramatic and far more dangerous. The predator does not avoid the precipice, it weaponizes it. When chasing prey, the cat leaps directly into the abyss. It actively pursues its target down near vertical mountainsides for distances of up to 300 meters. This is not a controlled descent, it is a high-speed, gravity-defying plunge. The snow leopard uses its massive tail as a biological gyroscope. It swings this heavy organ to balance its body mid-air. It makes sharp, impossible turns on sliding gravel. This chase is a calculus of pure momentum. A single misstep on this vertical stage means a fatal fall, but their bodies are built to absorb the shock of these immense impacts. This high-risk hunting strategy is born of absolute necessity. The energy required to live and hunt at this altitude is staggering. Finding food in a barren desert of stone is a relentless challenge. The predator cannot afford to waste its energy on small, elusive targets. It focuses its efforts on substantial prey, preferring animals that weigh between 36 to 76 kilograms. This matches the weight class of the Himalayan blue sheep. A successful hunt provides an immense return on investment. An adult snow leopard can survive on a single blue sheep for 2 weeks. During this time, the cat remains close to the carcass, defending it from scavenging vultures and foxes. It eats slowly, conserving every scrap of protein. Between these major meals, the cat enters a state of quiet energy conservation. It moves only when necessary. This slow, deliberate lifestyle is the only way to balance its energy budget. The mountains do not offer second chances to a careless hunter. How these predators coordinate their lives across this immense wilderness was another great mystery. In the vast, broken landscapes of Central Asia, individuals are incredibly scarce. Early researchers hypothesized that these cats must live in small family groups or packs to survive. They believed a solitary hunter would starve. This theory was quickly shattered by field observations. The snow leopard is fiercely solitary. It patrols territories that stretch beyond human scale. In the harsh environment of the Gobi Desert, an adult male maintains a home range of 144 to 270 square kilometers. Within this massive boundary, another snow leopard is a potential rival. Physical encounters are dangerous and rare. To prevent violent conflicts, they have developed a highly sophisticated system of chemical communication. They mark their territory using specialized scent markers. Their urine contains a complex cocktail of chemical compounds. These include pentanol, hexanol, heptanol, 3-octanone, nonanol, and indole. These compounds act as a slow-release chemical message board on the cold stone. These chemical signatures persist on the dry stone for months. When another cat approaches, it sniffs the rock. It decodes the exact identity, health, and gender of the resident. This chemical language allows them to share the mountains without ever meeting face to face. But this silent, solitary existence created a new scientific puzzle. If these cats are so spaced out and so impossibly quiet, how do they ever find a mate in the pathless snow? How does a species with such a massive home range guarantee its own survival? The old models of animal behavior could not answer this. Every classic assumption about big cat biology had failed. To understand the true secret of their survival, researchers had to look closer. They had to examine the most extreme, unexpected adaptation of all. It was an anatomical secret hidden deep within the very paws of the ghost of the mountains. Millimeters of vocal tissue cannot produce a roar. Yet, high on a precipitous ridge in the Himalayas, a shadow moves. Against a vertical maze of slate and ice, a silent predator looks down. This is the roof of the world. It is an environment so hostile it seems impossible for any large cat to survive. Yet here, the snow leopard reigns as the highest altitude big cat. It typically inhabits alpine and subalpine zones at elevations of 3,000 to 4,500 meters. Down in the valley, the air is thick. Up here, it is thin and freezing. To breathe, the leopard relies on specialized anatomy. Large nasal openings help warm the cold, dry air inhaled by the cat. Instead of a roar, a ghostly moan and a soft, breathy prusten drift through the freezing air. The defense against the cold does not stop with its breath. The snow leopard is wrapped in a biological coat of armor. In the biting cold of the alpine winter, temperatures drop far below freezing. To combat this, the predator relies on its small, rounded ears. These ears help to minimize heat loss in cold environments. Beneath its body, massive paws act as natural snowshoes, keeping it from sinking into deep drifts. But its most striking feature is its tail. This incredible appendage ranges in length from 80 to 105 centimeters. It is thick, muscular, and packed with stored fat. When mountain winds howl, the leopard curls up into a tight ball. It wraps this massive tail entirely around its face, using it like a blanket to protect its face when asleep. Its mastery of the cold did not develop overnight. Millions of years ago, the ancestors of the snow leopard split from their closest living relative, the tiger. Phylogenetic analysis indicates the split happened between 4.62 and 1.82 million years ago. While the tiger's lineage claimed the dense forests, the snow leopard's ancestors pushed upward into the clouds. The earliest fossil appearance of the snow leopard lineage is recorded during the Gelasian stage. This places their cold-adapted ancestors on the high plateau about 2.6 million years ago. Ancient DNA shows that the ancestors of the snow leopard, leopard, and lion hybridized during their evolution. They swapped genes across continents before the mountains fully isolated them. The modern snow leopard carries these ancient, shared mitochondrial genomes in its DNA. It is a survivor of a forgotten, warmer world. To rule this vertical desert, the cat must patrol immense territories. The snow leopard is a solitary animal that is mostly active at dawn and twilight. It is crepuscular, moving through the shadows when its prey is most active. In the dry, rocky expanse of the Gobi Desert, resources are scarce. Because of this, an adult male requires a massive home range. He patrols an area spanning 144 to 270 square kilometers. Within this vast kingdom, he will rarely ever meet another of his kind. Instead, they leave complex chemical messages on prominent boulders. Their scent-marking urine contains compounds such as pentanol, hexanol, heptanol, and 3-octanone. It is possible that specific compounds like nonanol and indole play a role in localized chemical communication. These chemical signals linger on the freezing stone for weeks. When the silent patrol ends, the hunt begins. On a near vertical cliff face, a herd of Himalayan blue sheep grazes on sparse grass. These herbivores are agile, but the predator above is a master of gravity. The snow leopard stalks close, utilizing its pale gray fur to blend with the slate scree. Once it is within range, it launches itself off the precipice. The leopard actively pursues prey down steep mountainsides for up to 300 meters using sheer momentum. The chase is a terrifying, high-speed tumble over loose rock. The cat's long tail acts as a vital gyroscope, keeping its body balanced mid-leap. If successful, the reward is high. An adult snow leopard can survive on a single Himalayan blue sheep for 2 weeks. It will drag the carcass into a deep crevice, hiding it from soaring scavengers. The cycle of life in these heights is fragile, protected by a mother's devotion. Within a labyrinth of boulders, hidden from the wind, a mother prepares a sanctuary. The gestation period of a female snow leopard is approximately 90 days. When her time comes, she chooses a deep, narrow rock crevice. To prepare this harsh nursery, she pulls soft fur from her own underside. She lines the cold stone floor with a thick, warm blanket of her own shed coat. Here, her cubs are born. They enter the world blind and helpless, weighing a mere 320 to 567 grams. At this weight, they are incredibly vulnerable to the freezing drafts. For the first few weeks, they rely entirely on their mother's body heat. This secret sanctuary is their entire world. The mother rarely leaves them, risking starvation to keep her helpless young warm. But the borders of this frozen kingdom are shrinking. Rising global temperatures force the tree line higher, compressing the alpine zone. Greenhouse gas emissions are expected to cause a shrinking of this delicate zone, reducing snow leopard habitat by 30%. At the same time, the threat of human conflict looms dark over the peaks. Conflict with herders and active poaching threaten their survival. An estimated 103 to 236 snow leopards are poached every year in China alone. These dual pressures have left their populations fractured and vulnerable. The species is officially classified as vulnerable on the UN Red List. The puzzle of their survival is no longer just evolutionary. It has become a high-stakes race against time. If their alpine refuges vanish, the great ghost of the mountains will have nowhere left to run. Yet, the world is fighting to track and save this elusive ghost. Scientists and citizens are piecing together scattered clues to map the true population of this mountain phantom. Citizen scientists have recorded 124 research-grade observations on a naturalist. Every single entry helps map their fragile range. In 2024, the Indian snow leopard population was estimated at 718 individuals. Beyond the data, the spirit of the cat remains an enduring soul of the mountains. Known as the Akbars in Central Asian heraldry, it is a sacred creature to the Kyrgyz people. It is the designated state animal of Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh. Though rarely seen, its presence is felt in every gust of wind across the high peaks. But as the snow begins to melt under a changing sun, a chilling question echoes through the silent crags. Will the ghost of the mountains fade into a myth,